Welcome everyone to this exciting session titled To Digital and Beyond. The objective here is to spark conversation and imagination about digital, a term often used but rarely fully understood. It also is to illustrate the breadth of digital capabilities that Sapiens has on offer in its new digital suite. So let's unpack this great topic with an expert panel for a 20-minute session now, and then we'll have some time for Q&A. Can I ask you to introduce yourselves, please, as our expert panel? First off with Colleen.
Thanks, David. Hello, everyone. My name is Colleen Wells. I'm with Sapiens, and I'm responsible for the strategy for digital.
Colleen, thank you very much. Next up, we have Yariv.
Hi, my name is Yariv Yanai. I'm VP Innovation and Product, located in Israel. And I'm in charge about how we switch the digital inside the traditional insurance company.
Yeah, thanks very much. Next up is Amir.
Hi all, Amir Raskin from Tel Aviv. I'm the product strategist for data analytics, so I will be representing the opportunities in the intelligence arena for the discussion.
Fantastic, thank you. And Bjorn.
Hi, David. Hi, guys. Thanks for having me. My name is Bjorn. I'm dialing in from Hamburg, Germany. I'm founder and co-CEO of Sumcumo and also regional director for Sapiens in the DACH region, meaning Germany, Austria, and Switzerland. And for all of you who don't know, Sumcumo was acquired by Sapiens around one and a half years ago. And it's a company that has around 200 employees taking care of everything digital around the insurance industry.
Excellent. Looking forward to what you guys have got to say about the topic of digital. So let's start off then with just a simple question. What is digital? How do you define digital? A term often used, but let's get some definitions underway. Colleen, what is your definition of digital?
That's your simple question to start with, David. Yeah, so I think digital has this huge huge basis to sort of stand up against, right? But to me, it's really quite simple. Digital is really about customer expectations and providing a better customer experience using technology. So customer experience and technology equals digital. Simple.
Customer experience and technology. So from a customer perspective, excellent. Okay, Yariv, your definition of digital.
I think digital is the new business renaissance for companies that can release from the old procedure and to get insight to make all the procedure more easy, more simple, to give a win-win situation to everybody, to make a better profit and a better service to all the consumer. This is how I look.
Interesting. Okay, Amir, definition of digital.
Hi, maybe I'll follow up on what Colleen was saying. I believe that when you use intelligence, you're able to exceed the customer expectations. You're able to see ahead what they will need, to be able to look into the complete environment where they are situated, whether it's P&C and their car or it's life and their family, and provide a much better service and ROI for both the customer and the company.
Thanks, Amir. Bjorn, your definition of digital.
Well, I mean, a lot of things have already been said, so I tend to agree with all of them. I might like to add that, back in the day, digitalization basically meant process automation in the beginning. That's what everything's coming from. And then data came into place, customer experience. And today I would even go as far as calling digitalization in the insurance industry a way to get into serious e-commerce, basically.
Serious e-commerce. Interesting. But let's look at it. You've given a sort of a external perspective. So customer expectations, exceeding customer expectations, becoming serious about e-commerce, etc. What about digitalization within the organization, particularly from an employee perspective? Amir, you're shaking your head. What's your perspective there?
Yeah, I would like maybe to blow a concept that if we will have digital and automation and everything will be machine learning and predictive, employees will not be required anymore or something like that. There was like a movement, I think, a few years ago like that. What we are talking about is, I would say, making the employees as superhumans and allowing them to really focus on the added value and be able to generate a lot of value for the customers, for the company, and also for themselves to do more significant work going forward.
Thanks very much. Colleen, you started with customer and technology. What about the employee?
Yeah, so I think the way that I try to segment digital a little bit in terms of the external in and then the inward out, right? And so when you're talking about employees, I feel like that's kind of a natural extension of what's going to happen to be digital, right? So all of the optimization that you're gaining from the external experiences with your insureds or your agents and brokers, you're automatically going to pick those up internally, right? Because you're increasing some of the processes and the automation, right? And so I feel like from the terminology of digital, we need to segment those a little bit, because they're different types of customers, but they are also expecting that same type of great experience. So I agree with what Amir was saying in terms of that superhuman. When you provide this excellence to the internal customers, your internal customers, so your underwriters, your CSRs, and there's a level of employee optimization that you get to. They're going to be much happier doing their jobs if you make it better for them, easier for them, and then they're able to think and do things that aren't those mundane tasks that something like RPA could pick up, but it's more focusing on those harder, more insurance specific business processes that no one's going to be able to do other than your employees.
Fantastic, thank you. So thinking about then, we understand now what digital is and why it's important from both an internal and external perspective. What current trends are we seeing in the marketplace? Maybe beyond, bring it in. What are you seeing?
Sure. I guess, I mean, most insurers have, taken first steps or even had their first successes in the digital space. A lot of people launched new websites, new online platforms, maybe tried to sell new products that they haven't been able to sell before, or use new sales channels, and maybe even gotten as far ahead as providing online self-services, etc. So that's something that everybody's sort of been working on. What I've been seeing is that a lot of these solutions that were used to sort of get to that point were sort of individual solutions that didn't really tie in with each other. So now we're looking at basically a collection of tools and platforms, etc., that actually might, in some cases, cause more costs and work than they actually bring you benefit. I think this is okay, because it's like a first step. You're trying yourself out. But now, as technology and platforms sort of get more complete, there are new solutions where you can actually tie all of these different things in with one another. You can make use of your ecosystem. You can tie things into your core solutions, etc. I mean, this is part of what we're doing here at Sumkumo and at Sapiens Digital. It totally makes sense, and we are seeing a lot more, I guess, acceptance for these types of solutions from the markets these days.
Bjorn, thank you very much. So clearly moving from just quote and buy portal to end-to-end digital services for the customers. Love it. And particularly use the word ecosystems, which we might come back to later. Yari, if you were nodding there, what trends are you seeing in the marketplace?
I see the new ability of IoT and sensor can bring to the insurance company a huge advantage of good profit, good results. And it's a win-win situation, even to the customer, that we can make a personalization about the customer and to give him ability to pay as he need, and to pay exactly for his behavior, especially in the P&C side. And Amir can expand it about all the analytics and data that is management. So I think these devices of IoT and sensor can make the market very transparent for all. And when you have transparency, you have a loyalty, and engage with the customer and engage with the broker. And it's give a new perspective and a new vision for the insurance industry.
Yariv, you give a very nice picture there of the future of IoT and sensors, but it's quite a theoretical one. Give me some practical uses of where you're seeing IoT being used now.
You can take it from the most popular things like driving. If you have a device that sees and track the customer, how is drive and how is behave and when he drive and where and which hour and which road, and you can calculate everything and to bring it to the actuary guy in the insurance company and can bring you precisely premium. It's amazing.
Okay, driving, a very good example. Thank you. Amir, can I bring you in here and saying, use of IoT and devices and sensors, where do you see those being applied in practice at the moment?
Yeah, I would like to look at it again from the customer perspective. I would like, as a good customer, to be recognized. Now, today, underwriters and even claims agents, when they're making a decision and pricing, they don't really know me. And I specifically, maybe driving, I don't know, more carefully. I drive a motorcycle, by the way, in addition, and I would like to be recognized for that. And the only way to be recognized are in today's underwriting is very rough classification of age and maybe some, I don't know, address or something like that. But I can be recognized, as Yariv said, and you don't have to have a device. We all have a mobile phone with all of the sensor required. We just need a good deal between the customer and the company, and it's a win-win. So technically, it's possible. We just need to, I think, as Bjorn said, to tie all the edges together into consolidated solutions with a significant vendor that can make sure that everything works together.
Yeah, there's a theme here of end-to-end coming through quite loudly. But Amir, what other trends do you see, particularly in your area of data analytics? What trends do you see in the marketplace at the moment?
I would like to add two trends. One of them, I think the world is changing very fast. I'm not even talking about COVID. I think we all talked about it enough in the last more than a year. But the world is changing in terms of weather, in terms of changing circumstances, political and pollution, etc. And I think that the rules of underwriting is not changing quickly enough. I think the average company might change the rules maybe once a year, and that's like super fast. It needs to change on a daily basis. And the only way to do it is to tie a lot of data coming from outside the organization on a permanent basis and trusting it as part of the decision process. The second aspect I would like to add relates to a new book by Daniel Kahneman. It's the Nobel Prize winner of economical behavior. I believe most of the audience knows about him. He's talking about the motto of the book is a flow in human judgment. And I think today's decision makers in the organization understand that human decision makers, let's put it in understatement, do not make the best decisions if you compare them to computers. And the ability and I would say the understanding, the acceptance of actually taking algorithms inside the company and trusting them, I see the trend. I see it going on. It's a lot of money behind it, a fairness that they associated with endorsing it.
Interesting. Interesting. So Colleen, can I bring you in here and say, okay, so how can insurers leverage these trends that we're seeing in the marketplace?
Yeah, I mean, so I think they have to think digital first, right? They have to be flexible and try to be agile, right? And you can't really boil the ocean. So in insurance, I think we overthink, we overanalyze, and we want to go big bang first. I think what we need to do is sort of take a step back and try to understand of those and some of those trends that we just talked about, where can they, from the full circle, from the customer engagement, bringing in innovation, that full, end-to-end processes, where can they use some of these tech trends to find a process that they could implement sort of smaller at an MVP level, something like, we didn't talk about AI, right? Or like chatbots, but that's a big area that I think is going to really be influencing profoundly the market space in terms of how we engage with customers. And if they just really started small and thinking of terms of some of these trends, I think they'll be able to, start to make some of those improvements quickly. It's harder, right? Because we always tend to go in and say, oh, data, we need to do this, and this, and then we fail, right? And so we really need to be fast, but be smart in terms of what we're doing, and be brave about it, right? Because we can fail, but we need to understand, why did we fail? And was it because of the innovation that we were trying to do, or was it because of the process? So.
Indeed. Colleen, thanks very much. And certainly, it's perhaps the wrong word is fail. Perhaps it's learning. It was a great learning opportunity. And because there's an MVP, or minimum viable product, you only the cost of that learning was minimal, as opposed to a full 1 year new product launch, and then that didn't work. So it's all about learning, but thinking digital first. Beyond, in your experience, how insurers, the ones that you deal with, are successfully deploying this sort of think digital first?
Well, we've had the pleasure of actually helping a lot of insurers enter into that digital area, especially also newly founded insurers who basically didn't carry all that baggage from the past, and they can sort of serve as a example of what can be achieved in a short amount of time. And I would strongly agree with what's been said about speed being one of the major factors. Used to be that big transformation projects, core replacement projects, IT projects in general would always take years to complete. And then you only knew if they were successful after those years were already over. With these types of new working methodologies and general technology architecture models, etc., you can really get stuff out there in a matter of weeks or months. We have product configurators available where you can change the underwriting on a basically minute by minute basis if you have your company set up in that way. So there's a lot of things out there that can be leveraged fast. So for me, it's actually a winner's market. Whoever moves first, whoever moves quickly enough will get a large piece of the pie. We're still not there yet at, where we can be. So whoever jumps on that ship now can win.
Bjorn, you talked about there about plugins and connections to external services, etc. And previously used the word ecosystem. Mm-hmm. Can you define what do you mean by ecosystem?
Well, there is certain tasks within the whole lines of processes that we have to do when we're conducting insurance business, and obviously they're different for P&C, for life, for health, etc. But there are some specialized things where it doesn't really make sense to build that solution yourself or to become a master of it, hire 100 people who can do it. It just totally makes sense to cooperate with other insurers, but also cooperate with great solution providers, insurtechs who just focus on a certain area, like let's say dynamic pricing or automated claims handling or automated underwriting or stuff like that. And whenever it's easy to integrate them, and whenever it's a truly end-to-end process that's the result of that cooperation, then it should totally make sense to look at those types of solutions.
Excellent. Well, we're fast, unfortunately, running out of time. So let's kind of bring this to a conclusion, a summary. So can I ask each of you, if you were speaking to an insurer who wants to go on this journey, what kind of advice what would be your kind of advice to them to say, you know why you want to do it, you've got a customer in mind, and you really want to kind of leverage the power of digital? What would be your advice? Yariv, start with you.
So first of all, I will go to the business map and to see for the insurance company which business or which line of business they need to improve and to make it better, and where is it heal, and to heal it behalf of the digital. It's depend about the loss ratio, where is the most expensive cost, loss ratio, HR, marketing and sales, and etc. And then to take this segment, small segment, and to start to heal it by digital tools. And it's make miracles, because when you start to do it, it's become better and better each time. And now today, in these days, it's not like 5 years ago when we start in the digital. You have a lot of knowledge and experience to share and to understand what happened if you will do what. And behalf of that, we can change a business plan of insurance company and to make them better every year.
Yeah, thanks very much. Colleen, can I bring you in here? What kind of capability, we talked at the start about Sapiens' new digital suite. What is it and how can insurers leverage it?
Well, you're going to see a video about that shortly. But yeah, so essentially our digital suite is a powerful platform to be able to help insurers meet their digital needs the way they need to fast. And it provides technology tools that can help do things like, orchestration, journey building. And for me, I think that it can be really successful for insurers because of the need to get to the market faster, and it can help you successfully do those things.
Fantastic, Colleen. Thank you. Amir, can I bring you in here? Your final word for someone starting out on their digital journey?
Yeah, I would like to remind people that are starting with the digital journey to not to believe that if they will make the engagements digital, it will be enough. It has to come with a more intelligent journey. Something that the customer will understand that it's more than just talking to an agent versus using a mobile app. And I think what I would like to keep in mind, it's like having a car without an engine. If you do a digital without making it extremely more intelligent. And the good news is, it's possible. You don't have to be the shining lemonade, all from scratch, rebuild everything. You can actually do it in a conservative company.
Amir, thank you very much. Bjorn, your final word for the people listening here going, they're interested in digital, don't quite know where to start. What would you say?
I would advise any insurer, no matter what size they are, to think more entrepreneurial, to just formulate a clear vision of where they want to go, and then go out there and get it done, communicate it loud and clear, and just get started and find out the rest along the way. And a great partner like Sapiens, of course, can help you with that.
Fantastic. And on that great note, let's conclude this panel. Thank you very much. Right, I think we're going to Q&A now. Thanks very much to the panelists. Let's have some questions.
Whether you're composing your first song or performing your biggest hit in front of a packed stadium, turning your vision into reality demands skill, mastery, and the ability to overcome complexity, which may sometimes feel out of reach. Until now. Introducing Sapiens Digital Suite for Insurers. A holistic, versatile platform that gives you the power to orchestrate intuitive, omni-channel digital experiences for any audience. Effortlessly enable business users to compose journeys with drag-and-drop simplicity to match the speed of a rapidly changing market. Simply orchestrate integration across legacy systems, core systems, and ecosystems to enrich your digital offering. Provide your customers and agents with great experiences when buying, renewing, or serving their every need on dynamic self-service portals. Converse with customers on their channels of choice and keep the conversation flowing when shifting between bots and humans. Dramatically extend your service capacity using your current resources. Wherever you are with digital, Sapiens can help you. Transforming your digital vision into a great performance has never been easier. Sapiens Digital Suite. Orchestrate your digital your way.
Fantastic. Thanks very much, everyone. That was a great video. I thoroughly enjoyed that. So some of the key themes we've got there, digital, the new business renaissance, employees as superhumans, IoT and sensors, consolidated solutions end to end. The world is changing faster and faster. What does that mean? Flow in human judgment. Are humans able to make decisions better than computers? Be brave, be fast, think digital first. It's a winner's market, says Bjorn. We can have a large slice of the pie, and we've just heard about that great digital suite as well. Transforming your digital vision. Let's go for some Q&A now. I just noticed a few coming in already. So first off, people are asking what great use cases are people seeing in the marketplace now of insurers who are actually picking up and running with this stuff? And maybe closely aligned to that is, what can we learn from insurtechs? Colleen, what can we learn from insurtechs here?
Yeah, so first, I just have to say, every time I watch that video, I love it. It's super powerful, and it really talks a lot about what we're trying to help insurers with. So I get all teary-eyed when I see it. So just insurtechs, I mean, I think they're a partner in our success to digitalization from the way that we look at them from a digital suite perspective, and also the way that insurers should look to them. So I think Bjorn talked a little bit about ecosystems, and we see that the insurtechs are a big part of our ecosystem in terms of being able to fulfill some of those process gaps that we've seen. I also think that one of the things that we can learn is just how they operate. They're fast, they're furious. Talk about brave. There's no one who has ever worked for or run an insurtech. I mean, you're furiously mad in terms of your objectives, and what you're in it to do, in terms of in it to win it, right? So there's a lot to be learned from an organizational perspective, as well as just what they can bring to the space. I mean, I think they're partners in the success from a future perspective.
Colleen, thank you very much. I'll bring Yariv in. Yariv, what do you see as happening in the use cases in the marketplace, and what can we learn from insurtechs?
So the use case is, for my opinion, is how to reduce the cost. There's one that raised in an insurance company. I know that this is a huge challenge to any insurance company. And I think the most cost is on the marketing side, on the claim side, and to see how to crack the formula, especially in the marketing side, because it's not proportional the money that insurance company put on the commercial, and they never will earn it. So we need to understand how to convert, or how to make a gamification with the customer better. Today, the result is not so high as in another sector, like in tourism or other e-commerce. So the new trend is how to break the formula and to convert the customer. And about InsurTech, I believe them most. I think the power of InsurTech is that they take a solution and give a full solution end to end. They take the problem and give a good solution end to end, and all the time release and improve it. All the time that can make it better and a strong product.
Excellent, thank you. We've had another question come in from Kevin. Where do you expect to see integration with digital assistants such as Google Assist, Alexa, Siri, etc., being used by policyholders to interact with their insurers? Great question. Bjorn, do you want to pick that one up from Sumkumo's perspective?
Could you please repeat the question? You were breaking up a little bit for me. I'm sorry.
No problem. When do you expect to see integration with digital assistants such as Google Assist, Alexa, and Siri, etc., being used by policyholders to interact with their insurers?
Right. I mean, thank you again for repeating that question. I mean, there are already use cases out there of companies who are using these types of services. Of course, insurers a lot of times think first about how they can leverage technologies such as these to actually sell more insurances. So this is something that's been, being worked on around the globe. And I think that the intelligence that's being built into systems like Alexa and Siri, etc., is actually moving to a level where it's not just sale, it can actually be part of the consulting service for at least simpler products, which is actually something quite great, because if you're talking about smaller scale products such as, I don't know, maybe smaller additional health insurance products, then those are most of the time rather cheap when it comes to the premium. And it's really expensive for the insurers to supply consultants, service personnel, but these types of assistance devices and services can take over that job, and they can do a good job these days.
John, thank you very much. One of the other questions that have come in is saying, where is Sapiens going with its digital offerings? Obviously, we talked about the digital suite in that great video, but where is your future thinking about the evolution of that digital suite? Maybe bringing Amir in.
Yeah, I think it's no surprise that you've asked me, because when we look at the latest SMA report, we are talking about moving from a digital ready organization or a digital enterprise into an AI economy and AI first design. And I think this is the answer to the question, because the idea is, okay, of course it needs to be paperless and you need to do everything with your mobile, whether you are selling something, buying something as a customer, or also at the back office of the companies in the commercial line, it's more prominent. But the next thing is, guess my next move. Do it before I even think about it. Tailor it, make it smart, and at the end, make it more profitable for the company as well.
Yeah, David, just really fast. I think it's a collision of, oh, sorry, David, just really quickly. So I think it's a collision of digital, data, and decisioning all together to provide exactly what Amir is talking about.
Data, digital, and decisioning. Very good. Love it. Thank you much to you all. It's been a great panel, great set of questions coming in. And obviously the digital suite is available for any of the customers for Sapiens in this rapidly changing world where, being digital is no longer optional at all. It's what we've got to do. So thank you very much to the panelists, particularly Colleen, Yariv, Amir, and Bjorn. Really appreciate your insights there. I think